You are listening to the I Still Go to Church podcast.
I want to speak to the pastor.
Completely unscripted. Displaying a healthy member and pastor relationship. Going one-on-one with your pastor. So sit back, get in the hot seat, mic up, and tell us why you still go to church on the I Still Go to Church podcast.
Everybody, Bishop J here in another episode of the I Still Go to Church podcast. We've been sitting here having real conversations with real people who actually still go to church. And Zion has been on our annual Z retreat, and I'm sitting down with a group of brothers, and I'm glad to have Brother Craig with us. Come on, y'all give it up for Brother Craig. We got Brother Lewis here. Come on, give it up for Brother Lewis. And we also have Brother Rojan. Or is it Rajan? It's Rajan. I call him Ro, so we just gonna keep it like that. But fellas, man, we've had such a powerful experience just kind of navigating this space of community. But then also every year we come out here for the Z retreat. What has been some impact moments for you guys so far?
I know for me, just the kind of essentially testimonies where people got up and talked about the things that Zion has done for them and how they've been excited about it. And I think hearing all those messages, the one thing that was consistent all the way through was consistency about how Zion cares about people, how they take care of people, and how they love people, and how you're leading people towards discipleship, towards Christ. So that's been consistent.
Wow. That's awesome.
And for me, I had to piggyback on Brother Craig, but basically to see, which we know people are people, but to really hear people really going through things and testimonies of being broken when they first came.
Yeah.
And just having this family and this church family to lean on and to pull you through, no judgment. I mean, it's just huge, man, just to hear those testimonies.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm going to piggyback off of Brother Craig as well. Literally, I think the thing I'm really taking from it now is that the programming is great, but when you get into those moments where people can tell the authentic story, it like overtakes.
Yeah.
It's almost like you can't stop. You know? Right? Let me get another one.
Yeah. Hey, come on. Okay.
I look at my watch and it's almost noon.
You're right.
But,
awesome.
but I think that pure moment of like, man, this is what it's about. Like everybody who comes into that church is a collection of stories. Right. And to be able to hear someone say, it was a lot of stuff I didn't even know people was going through. Right. You know, and I know as for us, as for men, sometimes we get in those moments where we don't share those things. We don't share those stories, and we hold those things back from a man's perspective, though, right? Mm-hmm. We battle sometimes with sharing our stories and talking about, like, it's kind of cheesy to say, man, this church has done this for me. Right. Mm. What has this community of believers, from your standpoint, what has it done for you?
I think for me, it's allowed me to be vulnerable, to discuss things with other men about, like you said, things that you may not necessarily want to discuss with just people you know in general.
Yeah.
So knowing that I have that community of people that aren't going to judge me for the things that I say, they'll even keep things in-house if that's what I ask them to do. Yeah. I love that part of it, having that, community where I can share things with people that will keep things in-house, that won't judge me for it, but will always be there to support me. That means a lot to me.
That's big. That's big.
And for me, basically dealing with, a couple years ago, went through depression, and I know I shared the story earlier, went through a deep depression, stayed away from church, and diabetes was just taking over me, in and out of the hospital. Just down. Didn't even know it was real. Didn't know depression was real. Mm. My wife coming to church, she never stopped. She never stopped praying for me. And that's one thing I wanted to give, big props for Bishop J, that he never gave up on me. He called me, he would text me, Brother Marable, he did the same thing. But and even when Tanya shared her testimony today, that even when I was going through everything and she was coming to church by herself, that people would talk to her and hug her and say, tell Brother Brooks we're praying for him. So, man, that meant a lot to me. But the one thing that I'll say I knew I had to get things together was, I'll never forget it. She came home from church that Sunday, and I could tell she was mad, but she still wanted to remain godly.
Yeah.
But she was like, so I was just sitting there. She was like, okay, you know what? She put her purse down and her Bible down. I'm tired of this. You need to get up, you need to take a shower, and you need to shave. So that's how bad it was.
Wow.
I hadn't taken a shower in probably a week. Hadn't shaved. I was just, I was out. I was down.
Wow.
But once she did that, she told me that, I knew I had to figure out a way to get back up. So, but I said all that to say this church, they never stopped praying for me. Bishop J never gave up on me. He would call me, text me, and try to come see me when I was in the hospital. So, it's just big, man. That community, it's real. It's a true thing, and I'm glad I'm a part of it.
Man, that's awesome, man. Wow.
I know. For me, our story started way back when, in 2007, when you decided to go out on your own with Zion. I was there a little bit.
Yeah.
I was there a little bit. But literally, when me and my wife got married, we wanted to kind of create a new experience for us from a church home standpoint. So for me, it was definitely no question Zion. And once she visited, there was no other options. And so no other options were even put on the table. And so I just love the community. I love, like everyone has said, the caring spirit. People genuinely are authentic at Zion.
No doubt.
When you see them in Walmart, they're the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no facade. There's no fakeness. And so I love it. So that allows us to be ourselves at all times.
Yeah.
It really teaches us how to act as Christians.
Most definitely.
Don't put on a fake front at any time. Just be yourself. Right. And that translation, it'll be a 7-day situation versus once on Sunday.
I love it.
That's awesome.
I love it. That's one way you stay real. Just be that all the time. I don't have time to take my face off and come home and be something else. And we just try to be real. And I know, just listening to all of that and kind of seeing where we're trying to go this year, I can honestly say this is the first time I really feel like this large number of people actually get it. It's one thing when you had like 2 or 3 people like, okay, I think this small group gets it. But to see the whole room, like just literally get it, has been so empowering for me. So there might be some brothers right now, and not only just brothers, but anybody who's like, is church really still like relevant? Like, what would you say to that person that's like, church?
I know I would say that when we go back to the theme of 2023 of staying grounded, not only does church help you obviously in your spiritual life, but it is kind of a microcosm of the world. You always talk about how the Bible has everything in it, scandal, all these different things, and church does have that too. But you have redemption through Jesus Christ, and that's powerful, and it lets you know you can come to a place where I messed up. But I know I have salvation at the end of it if I just ask God for forgiveness. Yeah. And my church family is going to support me. And that's what Zion does. They support you.
Man, I love it. I love it. And all of that support is what you all have talked about. And listen, I want to tell you, if you're in the Murfreesboro area or close to Murfreesboro and you don't have a church home, we invite you to Zion Christian Ministries, 4750 John Bragg Highway. And if you don't know the address or you can't find it, go to our website, www.thisiszcm.org. I've been sitting here with Brother Craig, Brother Lewis, Brother Rajan, and we're here to tell you, we still go to church. God bless you.